everybody, my name is Jason Justice and I'm a saxophone player in Denver, Colorado. I thought I'd make a video to put online to talk about how to begin to play the saxophone. Now I know some people get excited and they buy a saxophone, they want to learn how to play, but before they get a hold of a teacher, they're not quite sure how to put the thing together. Let's start at the very beginning. How do you put a saxophone together? Well, here's the main body of the saxophone. You can see it's conical, right? It's narrow here and it gets larger and larger on the way down. By the way, this is an alto saxophone we're going to be working with today. The second thing you'll see in your case is a neck, okay? Now you take the neck and slide it down into the main part of the body here. Generally, every saxophone has a screw mechanism at the very top. We're going to lock that down a little bit just to make sure the neck doesn't start swinging around when we're playing. All right? Take the horn and either put it back in your case or lay it in your lap. The next thing we're going to do is put the mouthpiece together. 3 parts to the mouthpiece. The main part, which is the mouthpiece, a ligature, and a reed. Okay? When I get my reed ready, I put it in my mouth with the rounded part facing down on my tongue. The flat part, or the back end that's going to be on top of the mouthpiece, I put it against the roof of my mouth. And I suck some spit and some air through it. These reeds are made out of bamboo generally, and so it's very easy to pull air and saliva through them, but very important to do so, just so that we get the reed pliable and wet. Now, the next thing we're going to do, make sure you've got your ligature on the mouthpiece. And I'm going to take the reed, I'm going to slide it down in between the ligature and the mouthpiece. Now, one thing you've got to be sure you do is always handle the reed by the middle part, either by the bottom where the cane of the bamboo shows, or right here in the middle. The tip of the reed is very delicate, easy to break. You don't want to put your fingertips on it. You don't want to bump it into anything, into your head, into the desk, into your saxophone. You've got to protect your reed at all costs, right? Because they're expensive. All right, so we've got the reed in the ligature. We're going to slide the reed down into the ligature. Now, the one thing that my ligature is probably a little different from yours. I play a Rovner ligature, and it cranks down or tightens down on the top of the mouthpiece. You probably will have a ligature that looks a lot like this. There's 2 screws in it. I'm missing 1 screw. I gave one of my students this screw today because he'd lost one of his. And this will go on the bottom. The screws will be on the bottom, as opposed to this Rovner that I play, which the ligature, where you crank it down, is at the top. I love these ligatures because they're inexpensive, and they spread the pressure out over the whole reed. Makes the tone a little bit nicer. All right. So now we've got the reed and the ligature. You want to make sure that the reed is almost to the top, or at the very, even with the very tip of your mouthpiece, the tip right up here. All right? So let's get that even. Always adjust it with your thumb, okay? Don't put your fingertip on the top of the reed and adjust it that way, because once again, reeds are expensive. Okay. So now we've got that. You want to make sure you've got just a little bit of the top of your mouthpiece showing where the ligature is. You don't want the ligature to be down over the lip of the mouthpiece here, because it just won't play very well. We want to make it as easy on ourselves as possible. I have a saying which goes, that I tell all my students, which is, if saxophone playing was easy, if music was easy, everybody'd be doing it. There's a little work involved, but believe me, the rewards are worth it. Now, we've got our reed on the mouthpiece. We've got the ligature cranked down. We're going to put it onto the end of the neck, okay? Just slide it down there. Probably your case has some cork grease in there. And that's pretty important to use once or twice every couple of months. You don't need to use it every time, putting grease all over that. You just don't need to. It's going to build up a lot of extra wax on your cork up here, and that's not necessary. Okay, so here's the cork. Put the little cork grease on there. Slide your mouthpiece on. Now, it's going to depend on how old your horn is, what kind of horn you're playing, how far you put it down in order for it to be in tune with other saxophone players, with the rest of the band, whatever you're doing. So just put it on probably halfway for now, all right? Now, we got to hook in. You don't want your saxophone flying down on the ground and breaking, so we're going to hook in right here, and we're ready to rock and roll. Except for, how do you hold this thing, right?